alluding to earlier about Fred Adams. We actually sat down with Fred and
what a
got
delightful
a chance
person.
to go over the history of the Shakespeare Festival.
How did you mix Shakespeare and Utah?
Oh, that was kind of a given. I found that there had been literally a history of Shakespeare production and Shakespeare training in Utah right when the pioneers first arrived in 1847. First thing they did was build theaters, start doing Shakespeare plays, keeping in mind where they left. Wales, Ireland, Scotland, London. It was kind of a natural. It's also the most studied subject in literature. And so it meant my audience already had a class in it. And it didn't matter where my audience came from. They could come from Great Britain, or they could come from China. And they still were studying Shakespeare. They study it today.
We have to assume that and some Americans just either don't get Shakespeare.
Oh.
But you've taken care of them too, because there's other productions here that are a ton of fun.
Two ways we've taken care of them. One, we do a musical, a popular musical, a musical that they say, gee, I'd like to bring my children to this, or this is a musical that I can understand. And that carrot brings them to the festival. And once we get them here, all we have to do is sit down with them in our grove out there and say, have you ever wondered what Henry V is about? And we talk a little bit about Henry V, and all of a sudden they go, gee, maybe we got to stay and see what Henry V is all about. And they find themselves absolutely thrilled.
To me, if I had to pick one thing of why people come here, it's to come to see the statue of you.
Oh, no.
Yes.
Oh, no, heavens,
that statue,
no.
Come on!
Oh, heavens, no. That statue, no. That statue with that oversized rear end, no. I think audiences come for two reasons. I think audiences come because number one, they know that they're going to see quality. Number two, they're going to get their money's worth. We're not an expensive theater to begin with. So they know that they're going to get their money's worth. And number two, they know that they're going to go away with something almost tangible that they can take home, and all winter long they can chew on it, they can gnaw on it and think about it. And I love that discussion we had over such and such, or I love that conversation over this or that. And that kind of filling out the holes, or filling up the process more completely. I think that's why they come.
I still say it's the statue, because I come up to see the statue. Because you're immortalized now.
I know.
And how do you feel about that? Because if you think about it, I mean, you've made history here.
Yes.
And this is your baby.
Okay.
So you literally have to walk in here and just go, oh.
Let me put it this way. The day my statue went up, my wife looked at the statue and she said, just remember, Saddam Hussein's statue came down face first. Never forgot that.
Fred, thank you so much.
Thank you. Oh, it was a joy.
Thanks for being back. Letting me come back with you again.
Oh, I'm so glad you'd come back. It's so wonderful to see you.
He's a funny man. He's very insightful. And I got to admit, I started to know him back in 1991 when I first started out in television in Vegas. And because my TV station was not the sponsor for the Shakespeare Festival, the competing station was, I still called him and I said, hey, I want to come up and do it. And I did a half-hour show every year on the Shakespeare Festival with him. And Fred and I had a great time. I think he had some respect for me since I was a literature major. I had studied Shakespeare, so I didn't sound like I was like a bumbling idiot, even though I was. And so I have great affinity with him. And what was wonderful is when we called and I said, hey, Fred, I don't know if you remember. He goes, Horse, I remember you. Yeah, come on up. Yeah, we got to do a full interview.